I made a video when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won her primary, praising her. I made a video talking about the Green New Deal before it was released, saying it was a really good idea, and most people actually supported it. The general premise is, yes, it makes sense in some ways to have a massive overhaul to help protect the environment in some ways. I argue that in order to bring conservatives on board with a left-leaning position on the environment and climate change, you need to focus on what they care about, which is economics, right? So let's say you don't believe in climate change or you don't think we should be, implementing a Green New Deal. Well, what if we could start a program that expanded the economy, made us more internationally competitive, right? That argument makes sense. I've said it many times. You've probably heard me say it. Why am I so critical of Ocasio-Cortez if I'm supposedly on the left? It's very simple. This story from the Daily Wire. AOC's chief of staff admits Green New Deal about implementing socialism. Let's do a quick little pushback that is a right perspective. What he really said was it's about changing the economy. Okay, if that's your position, I ask, why? The Green New Deal is about the environment. What the hell does that have to do with you changing the economy? And thus, I can see these individuals using what I care about to advance their political agenda to change the economy. I don't care what your end game is. I care that I worked for 3 different environmental nonprofits and actually do care about fixing the economy. And I think we do that by bringing people together and coming up with legitimate solutions. Yet when I criticize them, they say, how dare you criticize Ocasio-Cortez? She's fighting for the environment. She's not. When the Green New Deal came out, I was very critical, saying, what is this? I praised this. I said it was going to be a good thing. I was hoping it would be a good thing. It turned out to be identitarian socialism. Free college, healthcare for all, guaranteed jobs have nothing to do with the environment. It's all about the economy. So let's read this story. And I've got another story we can dive into if we have time from the Daily Wire. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a PayPal option, a crypto option, a physical address. But of course, as you know, the best thing you can do is just share this video because suggestions don't work the way they used to. The only way, I'm going old school, word of mouth. If you like my videos, tell your friends. But let's read on. Ryan Saavedra writes, Socialist Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, far-left Chief of Staff Saikat Chakrabarty, admitted in a recent Washington Post interview that the Green New Deal was not created to protect the environment, but to implement socialism. The Post notes that the admission came during an exchange between Chakrabarty and Sam Ricketts, climate change director for Washington Governor Jay Inslee, Democrat, who was a long shot running for president, the Post reports. Chakrabarty had an unexpected disclosure. The interesting thing about the Green New Deal, he said, is it wasn't originally a climate thing at all. Ricketts greeted this startling notion with an attentive poker face. Do you guys think of it as a climate thing? Chakrabarty continued. Because we really think of it as a how do you change the entire economy thing. Conservatives have long warned that Ocasio-Cortez's $93 trillion Green New Deal is a Trojan horse that is designed to implement socialism. Tom J. Donahue, CEO of the United States Chamber of Congress, wrote earlier this year, climate change is real and deserves our attention. But not every policy to address it can be taken seriously. Take, for example, the Green New Deal, a sweeping proposal to save our planet that reads more like a parody of the progressive agenda. No laughing matter, however, is the proposal's ultimate objective to give government unprecedented power over people's lives and our entire economy. Other aspects of the Green New Deal seem wildly out of place for an environmental resolution. Consider the promise of a massive new entitlement programs that could only be achieved through a radical redistribution of wealth. Here, the proposal shows its true colors. This is not some run-of-the-mill progressive policy. It's a Trojan horse for socialism. The Green New Deal aims to upend our entire economic system, wresting consumer choice from everyday Americans and putting personal decisions from the food we eat to the cars we drive into the hands of an unelected elite. Even other Democrats have called out Ocasio-Cortez's far-left socialist agenda, including Rep. Max Rose of New York, who referred to Ocasio-Cortez's plan as a massive socialist economic policy platform. A senior Democratic aide told the Washington Post that in internal conversations, top Democratic officials have said they want Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff out. And this brings me to the next story from, I believe it's just from today. AOC's Green New Deal would boost gas tax, $10 to $13, destroy economy. The entire Green New Deal, most of the Green New Deal, let's not be too hyperbolic. is socialism. Healthcare, college, etc. Guaranteed jobs, economic security for those unwilling to work. I was talking to some progressives, some high-profile progressives who have big shows. And they asked me if I supported the Green New Deal. I said, absolutely not. And they said, but why not? Don't you think climate change is a problem? And I was like, of course. And they're like, but then why wouldn't you support the Green New Deal? And I said, what in the Green New Deal is going to solve the problem of climate change? Nothing. The only argument you could bring up when looking at the Green New Deal is that it would completely destroy the American economy, resulting in a massive depression in which, sure, the loss of life from starvation and the collapse of industry would heal the world a little bit. It's not going to do anything about the rest of the countries that are pumping out carbon emissions and causing problems for our planet. That doesn't mean to say, I don't mean to say that I'm arguing we shouldn't do anything because other countries will keep doing it. No, I think we can do great things. I think there is an argument to be made that the United States can engage in some kind of massive overhaul, okay? I'm not saying government overhaul. I'm saying there can be a major shift in our markets, supported by government and private investment. There's a lot that can be done if we had real leadership talking about real solutions. And again, I know a lot of people on the right are skeptical of the anthropogenic, man-made climate change. I think I got the word right, I could be wrong, but man-made climate change. Many people argue it's natural. They argue that as ice melts, less heat is reflected, the planet warms, or that, it's volcanoes. Whatever your point is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. We're not going to sit here and say, I'm a progressive who thinks climate change is bad, and then someone else says I'm a conservative and you're making it up, and then we just fight. That's pointless. It's completely pointless. And that's all that happens. Ocasio-Cortez putting out the Green New Deal, what did it guarantee? It guaranteed we wouldn't move forward on this conversation. Seriously. You know what will move us forward? A conversation like this. Me saying, okay, here's my concern. Climate change, carbon emissions really, really high. What can I do? What can I offer you where we could get on board with something that would help alleviate some of this stress and help you out? That's normal. Looking at Socialist Chakrabarty's statements, however, I don't think they actually care about the environment at all. And I think they're using people like me, they're using the goodwill of the left that cares about climate change to push a political agenda, an economic agenda. Now, here's the thing. In this story, which I'll read a little bit, they say the Green New Deal would boost the gas tax $10 to $13 and destroy the economy. Yes, I have talked to many left-wing activists. I'm not saying this is representative of all of them. But I've been told by many of these people, it's the chaos vote. They want to destroy everything so they can rebuild something new. Destroying the economy very well may be some of these people's intention, because then from the rubble, they can build what they think is better. Socialism. In fact, if there is a massive depression, I'm sure a lot of people would look, I'll put it this way. In the Great Depression, we saw the Green New Deal. And many people said, that was a massive government overhaul of government jobs and social programs, entitlements and guarantees. And to get more of that, you need essentially a false flag. Purposefully damage the economy and then call on the government to come and fix it for you. I'm not saying that's exactly what they're doing. But I can tell you that I've talked to a few activists who absolutely endorse this view. There's also several people who voted for Trump because they were hoping the world would burn, right? It's not representative of everybody, but I will say based on Socialist Chakrabarty's statements and what we know about the Green New Deal, yeah, they're trying to massively overhaul the economy. They don't care about the environment. Let's read a little bit of this. This is from the Washington Examiner. They write, the socialistic Green New Deal pushed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and winning broad support from Democratic presidential candidates could lead to a $10 increase on a single gallon of gas, according to a new study of the so-called carbon tax and the liberal bid to rid vehicles that burn fossil fuels. The CO2 Coalition study mostly focused on the government's effort to assign an environmental price on the future social cost of carbon. Also looked at the ultimate goal of liberals to get rid of gas-powered autos, key to the Green New Deal. Perhaps a solution to getting rid of gas-powered vehicles is to cause the price of gas to be so high, a punitive tax, it would force people to embrace different technology. We don't need this. If you pay attention at all, we can see right now the auto industry is undergoing a massive shift. Electric vehicles are popular. Everybody wants a Tesla. Dude, I want a Tesla. I can't afford a Tesla. They're expensive. Okay? So there's the Volt and honestly, I don't know what the other cars are, but there's like the Volt, there's the I can't remember the name. But there are electric cars that are coming out and they're increasingly popular. And with the technology moving towards self-driving cars, we're going to see a very different shift in the economy through market forces. So it's unfortunate. It really is. Because I think there is a place for government to help incentivize and expand these programs. There is a tax credit. I believe there's a tax credit for getting an electric vehicle, and that's part of a government solution. This is not it. The Green New Deal. So I'll put it this way. When I look at the left right now, when we look at like what AOC is trying to accomplish with the Green New Deal, what she's claiming to want to accomplish, it is a massive leftward lurch that has jolted so fast to the left, the tether between the center and the right has snapped. Right? So I imagine it this way. The left, right, and center, there's a rope between them. And the left can pull the right a little bit, the right can pull the left, but typically the left has been pulling both the center and the right gradually left. We are being led by young progressive individuals who are pushing these ideas. However, recently, and I mean the past decade recently, the left has shut so quickly, the rope snapped. And now they're no longer pulling the center and the right to the left. The center and the right are now moving slightly to the right, and the left is gone. Completely gone. Market forces are moving forward. Getting rid of cars and reducing carbon emissions is, you've got people who passively think they can do something. You've got people who don't care and do nothing. And you've got people who are actively fighting for change. What's really making the most positive impact today, someone like Elon Musk, shooting a Tesla into outer space, making Tesla cool and everybody want one. That's going to do great. Now, keep in mind, electric cars require electricity. Duh. And where does electricity come from? Power plants that are predominantly powered by coal. Most people don't seem to understand how electricity works, okay? So I ask people, do you know how a power plant works? Most of them will say, we burn coal or oil or something. And I'm like, right, and then what? Like, does the fire turn into electricity? No, what really happens, for the most part, is that when we burn something, it's used to heat a vat of steam, which creates pressure, causing a turbine to spin. Then I ask people, do you know how solar power works? Most people immediately think of photovoltaic cells, like solar panels, when in reality, there are many photovoltaic power plants. Many of them as well actually just point mirrors at a giant vat of water, which causes to heat up and pressurize to spin a turbine. The point is, we can make a move towards electric cars, and it's a gradual market progression through things that are cool and that people like, and it's a good thing. However, we still do burn fossil fuels for electricity, and if we swapped out every car for an electric car, there would be a massive increase in electrical demand. But while this still will result in a short-term increase of carbon emissions through power plants, there has been massive and major strides in renewable energies, which are great and are going to reduce carbon emissions across the board. So what we're looking at right now is fake environmentalism meant to push forward socialistic policies. I don't want to say overt socialism, but yes, to change the economy, they say. It's not actually helping the environment. Elon Musk is probably doing more for the environment than most people. Now, obviously, I think there's a lot of nonprofits doing great work for environmentalism that are doing more than him because they do direct action. But I mean, like, from looking at Ocasio-Cortez versus Elon Musk, what has she gotten done? Her nonsense bill was ridiculed. Okay, they had a bunch of ridiculous things about, people unwilling to work getting paid, which is essentially universal basic income. And everybody mocked it. She pulled it down and said it was a mistake. Oh no, what has Elon Musk done? Made some cool cars, shipped them out, and now people really want them. Boogie, I don't know if you guys know who Boogie is, but he did like this whole stream talking about how he really wanted to get a Tesla. I don't know what happened with it, but I heard him talking about it. Tesla's cool, man. I've driven a hybrid since 2008. We are conscious to the problems of constantly burning fossil fuels, whether you agree with climate change or not, and market forces are pushing us in the right direction. I think we need to move faster. I really do. I look at some of the concerns from the international scientific community. I take them to heart, and I think, what can we do better? I'll tell you what we shouldn't be doing. Ocasio-Cortez, the Green New Deal. It's made everything worse and harder to actually advance. But I'm not going to beat a dead horse on this one. You get it. In the end, I think their agenda is economics and not environmentalism. It offends me. I've worked for environmental organizations, 3 of them, and it means a lot to me. And so here we are facing a greater crisis because we don't have a left that can actually advocate for policy and change that will be good and positive and beneficial to everybody. So stick around. Next segment will be coming up at 4 p.m., youtube.com/Timcast, and I will see you all there.